the senator was around 4th place here in Iowa, maybe something like that. And we were talking about the logistics of the race. And he said something to me with confidence. He said, look, you know, the only time it really matters to be in first place is on election day.
Yeah.
Or on caucus night, right? And he said, you know, Bernie Sanders' message hasn't changed in decades, right? And I think that's one of the things we all admire about him. And when you start to see all of the other candidates contorting their positions, they start moderating a little bit, they start going back on what they say, that's when people are going to remember that Bernie Sanders has conviction. And it's going to take a little time, but we are going to get there eventually. And if you start to look at some of the polls, if you start to look at the fact that we aren't taking any money from billionaires, we don't have super PACs here, and that the good senator from Vermont is slowly but surely picking up in these polls that show us in the margin of error for first place here in the first nominating state, which is Iowa.
Yes.
And that is important because we know we are doing well in all these other states. And if we can finish strong here in Iowa, boy, it's going to be a nice treat for us as we see all of the other states realize that Bernie Sanders is the person for the job. So I want to say this to you because I know we got, how many folks are here from out of state that have come here to, wow. That's awesome. Thank you. Thank you. That means you realize how important it is to win the state of Iowa. And this is exactly how we're going to do it. We are going to out-organize, outwork, out-hustle every other candidate that's running. We are going to have the best ground game in the history of presidential politics. We are going to put together the most diverse coalition that a presidential campaign has ever seen. Young folks, old folks, black and brown, white, and everything in between, right? We are going to build a coalition that empowers the voices of people who traditionally have been locked out of politics because you don't have $1 million to give to your preferred presidential candidate. You can't pay $500 a plate to get into a dinner to hear a candidate speak. And none of us are getting invited into a wine cave. Right?
Give him so much credit.
And here we are, and I tell you that's not only important because the candidate in the general election that will be successful is a candidate that can put together the most diverse coalition. But I'll tell you another thing, it's just inspiring to look around the room and to see people of different races, different backgrounds, different socioeconomic backgrounds that have decided that our politics isn't working for everybody. It's not working, period. Our politics is benefiting the folks who already have the most, right?
Yep.
And it could care less about everybody else. It's inspiring to see a real-life political movement taking shape right before our eyes. And I am just really happy to be a small part of it. And I am happy to be in a room with so many other folks that are literally doing the hard work that's going to make this movement possible. And what I'm really, really happy about is I get to do this work alongside of some really inspiring people. And one of those folks who you all know is the good former senator from Ohio, Nina Turner, who is here today to really break it down for you and to really get you inspired, because we know that although we're doing well, although we raised the most money out of any candidate running, and we did it with small dollar donors from around the country, mostly from teachers and people in low-wage jobs, which we know means that we are truly building a movement from the ground up, right? While those are a lot of things for us to be proud about and happy about, we also know that we still got to fight. And this is now a sprint to February 3rd, which is how many days away? Somebody who's
30.
keeping track?
30.
30 days away. We got 1 month to drive it home. And so, in an effort to keep you really inspired and encouraged, it is my pleasure to introduce to you my sister in the fight for truth and justice, Senator Nina Turner.
Queen! VP! Burn and Turn 2020. Yes. Take us to
Iowa,
church.
it's an honor to be back here and to be in this struggle with my brother, the Honorable Stacey Walker, is a beautiful thing. Helen Keller once said that alone we can do very little, but together we can do so much. This is the foundational principle of this campaign, not me, us. To all of my sisters and brothers who came here from other states, you personify that quote, that alone we can do very little, but together we can do much. This is what the people-powered revolution is all about. A multi-generational, multi-ethnic, racial coalition of conscious-minded people binding their collective energies and synergies together to cause a real people-powered revolution in the 21st century. We are going to shock and awe the world, starting with the great state of South Carolina, Iowa. I'm going to South Carolina. We're going to shock and awe the world in South Carolina. Lord have mercy. That has been the state that has been on my mind the most, the state that I've been dispatched to as my foundational state as I travel all across this country. But I want to see some miracles happen in the great state of South Carolina. In order for that to happen, though, we have to start right here in Iowa. I can tell you that I did a red eye all the way from Nevada to be here with you today. I've been traveling all night long. I went into Nevada, Las Vegas, Nevada for First Friday's event where we attracted over 4,000 people rotating in and out of that event, one of the largest First Fridays that they have ever had. And that is because we were there to support and to push our champion, Senator Bernard Sanders. We did it while dancing and we did it while singing, baby. We're going to celebrate in this revolution.
Oh, yeah.
I was telling Oliver I need my head examined because it hit me. I flew into Nevada on Friday morning, did my work, and flew out of Nevada on a red eye, 2 planes to get here, and here I am today in the great state of Iowa.
Yeah.
To all of my sisters and brothers who came from other states, we appreciate this work as Stacey Walker laid out because we are going to win this thing. So I want you to stay focused. Don't look to the left, don't look to the right. Just knock on doors. Just make phone calls. Don't listen to the talking heads on TV kind of pontificate about what might or may happen. What we are doing is putting some sweat equity on our faith. And faith says that faith without works is dead. We are putting sweat equity on this movement, and for every door that you knock, every phone call that you make, you are helping to lift this revolution to the next level, not just for ourselves, but for people who may not even necessarily believe. You know, when I was in Nevada last night, a family came up to me to share their story, and I hear stories all across this country. And this one really got to me, as many stories do, because I am a heart type of woman. I am a hell-raising humanitarian. That is my political affiliation, hell-raising humanitarian. People ask me what party you hail from, the hell-raising humanitarian party. Y'all can join me in that party. And, you know, a family came up with their daughter. She just turned 18 years old, and she has a condition. To be human means we have a condition. But in this country, unfortunately, having conditions means that insurance companies can either deny you the health care coverage that your doctor said that you need, or pharmaceutical industry can jack up the prices. And my mind was just blown, Brother Walker, when this family said that one particular drug that their daughter needs to metabolize food so she can eat and live costs $16,000 a month, or excuse me, $1,600 a month. $1,600, which, you know, for that family, right? $1,600 a month for one prescription so that their daughter can eat food. Think about that. So the excessive greed of the pharmaceutical industry, the heartlessness of the unhealthcare system in the United States of America is about to come to an end because we, the people, demand it so, and we're going to put Senator Bernard Sanders in the White House.
Yes.
America. It is going to happen because alone we can do very little, but together we can do so much. In the words of Senator Bernard Sanders, not me, us. So it will be us who bends the wheel of this country and the body politic to say that healthcare is a human right in the United States of America. It will be the us in this room and millions of others like us all across this country who will continue to use our collective power to say it is the right thing to do to cancel student debt. It is the right thing to do to cancel medical debt. It is the right thing to do to stand up and face down the bigotry and racism in the United States of America and say no more, not on our watch. It is the collective us who will have the courage to speak the truth about this country, which is we have a legal injustice system that sees black men somehow as more criminal than anybody else, when black men can be gunned down, not just in the streets or choked out in the city of New York or gunned down in their homes. America, a day of reckoning is coming. There is something wrong with that. And to my white sisters and brothers, let me say this to you, that when we fight bigotry and racism and specifically anti-blackness, it is going to take the rainbow mosaic of humanity to do it, that burden does not just fall on black Americans in the United States of America.
Absolutely.
But collectively, we're going to do this. Isn't it a wonderful and powerful thing to have a champion like Senator Bernard Sanders, who has been on a justice journey from the age of 19 at the University of Chicago, leading an organization called CORE, the Congress on Racial Equality, as a young man. I'm not sure if Bernard Sanders then knew the Bernard Sanders would do today, but all along the way, his steps were being ordered for a time such as this. We, us, all of us standing side by side with our champion. He has been on that justice journey for a very long time. So when he says that he understands the disparities within the disparities, when he says that he understands that poor white folks and poor black folks and poor brown folks and white folks and indigenous folks and people from all walks of life deserve a system that bends to their will and not just to the will of multinational corporations, not just to the will of Wall Street, not just to the will of the pharmaceutical industry. When he says that he will raise money and shows by example, see, he don't just talk the talk, he walks the walk. Dr. Maya Angelou once said that if you know better, you should do better. We know better right now in the 21st century. So any politician worth their salt who continues to make excuses why they can't try to raise money in a grassroots way, something is wrong with them. You don't have to, as Brother Walker said, go up all into wine caves with Swarovski for crystals. You don't have to stand in the living room with multimillionaires and billionaires and say to them that nothing will fundamentally change for them. Well, sisters and brothers, if nothing fundamentally changes for multi-millionaires and billionaires, then nothing fundamentally changes for you, and you, and you, and you, and you, and you, and nothing will fundamentally change for this country. Senator Bernie Sanders has done all the hard work. So when you know better, you do better. And any Democrat worth their salt who stands up on the debate stage and says that they are not for Medicare for all. Oh yeah, baby, we're going to draw a line in the sand. And you know why? Because there are too many people in this country who are either uninsured or underinsured. Oh yeah, we will draw a line in the sand. When politicians say that they want you to have choice in your health care, knowing good and daggone well, you really don't have choice. If you have a job that provides health care, every year you're at the whim of your employer. If you don't have a job that has health care, then you are at the whim of the system, just like everybody else. What choice is that? The choice to die? That is no choice at all. So what we say to the Democrats on the stage who want to be the next president of the United States of America, that they can just come on, ease on down the road, because we got our champion, and his name is Senator Bernard Sanders. He does not
Yes.
change. He
Yes.
doesn't equivocate. 21st century is no excuse that every industrialized nation on the face of the earth has universal health care, but the good old United States of America, it makes no sense. So when folks tell you that they want to give you choice, tell them that is no choice at all. We have a corrupted healthcare system in the United States of America. It is not only immoral, we can't sustain it economically. It's not a good investment. And so we must dream a bigger dream in this country. We must understand and believe and know that we deserve better than what we are getting. So if we can bail out Wall Street and not bat an eye, why can't we put a down payment on Main Street? Hello, somebody.
Hello, somebody.
We can do this. Alone, we can do very little. But together, we can do so much. So I want to thank you all for knocking the doors. It's one thing to knock doors in the South. It's a whole nother thing to knock doors in the great state of Iowa in the cold, baby. Being a Cleveland, Ohio girl, I feel right at home with this weather. No, just thank you so much for putting your sweat equity on this thing. We are going to do this. And the course of history will be changed. And we are going to make history in many ways. Not just the senator will be the first Jewish president elected to the United States of America. That's one thing. But to have a public servant elected for a time such as this, somebody who cares about the poor and the working poor and the barely middle class in this country, is something that we have not seen. There has not been anybody quite like Senator Bernard Sanders since Eugene Debs attempted to be president of the United States of America. There has not been anybody quite like Senator Bernard Sanders, but for a lady that hails from New York by the name of Congresswoman Shirley Chisholm.
Yes.
There has not been anybody quite like him. So sisters and brothers, we're not going to get this exact moment back. It takes such a long time to generate people with the kind of heart and courage and consistency of a Senator Bernard Sanders. So this indeed is our moment. So we got to knock on doors like our lives depend on it. We got to make phone calls like our lives depend on it. Because only all that we love is on the line. That's all. Nothing big. Just Mother Earth. Just universal health care. Just giving relief to the poor. Just lifting up the downtrodden. Just changing the levers of power in this country to bend to the wheel of the 99%. Not a whole lot on the line. Just all that you love. So in the words of the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., the fierce urgency of now. And as Sister Turner, I want to add the fierce urgency of now, right now, now. That's all. That's it. And that's all. So we are going to do this thing. So I'm feeling really good, even though I'm wired as heck. I didn't go to sleep. I stayed up that entire time, so I don't know what's going to happen by the end of the day. But I came to lift you, Iowa, because you are going to be the domino that we need. We have to win this state. And then we're going to roll on into New Hampshire the same way. And then we're going to roll on into Nevada the same way. And then we're going to roll on into South Carolina the same way, baby. We're going to do this thing. And then we're going to roll into Super Tuesday. As Brother Walker laid out some of the stats, this is a beautiful thing. 5 million donations, baby. We did that. 5 million donations. Finally, the mainstream media is waking up. They knew all along, but they didn't want to say what we already knew. and we kept our eyes on the prize, and we didn't pay attention to what they had to say. And not only 5 million donations, top donors are teachers, top employment places where people work, Walmart, Amazon, Target, the United States Postal Service. What does all of that say, Sister Turner? It says this, that the working class people of this nation have already made a decision about who their champion is, and that champion is Senator Bernard Sanders. Now, there are many fine people on that stage, as our senator would say, many fine people.
So nice.
I keep saying that to myself over and over again, so I can talk myself into believing. Many fine people on the stage. But I'm sure all of you have many fine people in your lives. And just because they are fine people don't mean that they should be president of the United States. So there are many copies, but there is only one original. And so why, oh why, oh why will we ever take the copies, baby, when we can have the original?
Yes.
That is Senator Bernard Sanders. He is the original. So let the record reflect that there is only one. And we understand that as a people. And so our job is to go out and compel other people to come. Now we got to get folks to show up on caucus night. That's how this goes. This is a contest. There may be many fine people on that stage, but only one can win the primary. This is a contest. So when you hear people talk about attacking, no, we just laying out folks' records. Let the record reflect. Did you or did you not vote for the Iraq war? Let the record reflect.
That's right.
Did you or did you not author the crime bill? Let the record reflect. Did you or did you not support rotten trade deals that hurt the workers of this country? Let the record reflect. Did you not run Professor Anita Hill through the mud? Let the record reflect. Did you not support deals with the GOP to cut Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid? Let the record reflect.
Exactly.
Scripture in the Christian tradition says that you will know the tree by the fruit that it bears. Our senator bears good fruit. Not a perfect man, but good fruit on the justice journey for a very long time. So we want them to roll all the tapes. Let's make the comparison. Hashtag receipts, baby.
Yes.
We win every time. Hello, somebody. So let me end with this because I'm feeling mighty fine. I had a half a cup of coffee, and Lord, I don't know why I did that. Now I'm ready to go. My t-shirt says love. This is a movement of love. There's a song in the Christian tradition that says, love lifted me. Love is not weak, love is strong. It is for the love of the future of this nation that we gather here today, from all across this country, but in this state, to push for issues that are bigger than us. Love lifted me. It is because of love that we fight for an America that bends to the will of the working class people of this nation. It is because of love that we understand that we must save Mother Earth. It is because of love that we understand that we must do a new thing right now. It is because of love that we stand side by side as a multiracial, multi-generational coalition of people to force the change that needs to come. It is because of love that we support a justice warrior by the name of Bernard Sanders. It is because of love that he will become the 46th president of these United States of America. And it is because of love that he stands in the ready position for all of us to lead this nation down a different track. It is because of love that we understand that justice will reign supreme. It is because of love that as 21st century freedom fighters, we understand that we must get comfortable with being uncomfortable. It is because of love that we know that change is going to come. It is because of love, Iowa, that we are going to do this thing despite all of the odds. And that is the kind of country that we do live in, that despite the odds, we have had to championed and crossed many, 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 many mountains to get justice up until this point. But every generation is charged with advancing justice for the next. And that is the moment that we are in. I'm going to close with a quote from the Reverend Dr. Otis Moss Jr., who hails from Cleveland, Ohio. If you ever get discouraged about this journey that we are on, one day I was discouraged about this journey, and I want you to take his words with you. He said to me, is I kind of couldn't wrap my mind around the fact that it feels like we're always fighting the same battles over and over and over and over again. And I was feeling a little distraught, a little distressed, a little upset, a little angry. Like mad as a mofo angry. And he said these words to me, and I want you to take these words with you everywhere that you go. He said, Senator, the struggle is forever. So we are forever in the struggle. That is it. The struggle is forever. The struggle for justice forever. So we are forever in the struggle. It never ends, but we advance justice for ourselves and then for the next generation. Justice for ourselves and then the next generation. Justice for ourselves and then the next generation. The struggle is forever. So we are forever in the struggle. Can you do something for me while you're feeling this? I hope you're feeling this energy. Can you raise one hand for yourself? Raise one hand for somebody else. The great Dr. Maya Angelou once said, have the courage to stand up for yourself and then the courage to stand up for somebody else. With these hands, we will have Medicare for all. With these hands, we will cancel student debt and medical debt. With these hands, we will have college for all. With these hands, finally, women will get their whole damn dollar. With these hands, we will reform a legal justice system that is unjust in every single way. With these hands, we will do something about Mother Earth and the tragedy that we have created as human beings. We will have a Green New Deal. With these hands, we will forever fight for justice. With these hands, we will have transcendence. And with these hands, we will elect Senator Bernard Sanders, the 46th president of these United States of America. Come on, Iowa.
Our future vice president. Burn and turn 2020.
All right, well, Haley is coming up here. We have a few moments for a few photos if folks want to do that. Then we're headed off to Mason City to kick off a rally with Senator Sanders. But I'll turn it back over to Haley, who can say a few words about the canvas launch and things like that.
Okay, so if you were canvassing with us earlier and you still have your packet to finish, if we're going to do some pictures, you can just head out after that. If you need a packet, either you finished yours or you are coming out and canvassing after this, come see me or James. We can get you set up with that. Can I get a quick show of hands of that? Who needs a new packet? Okay. Okay, so we're doing pictures. Go ahead and get your pictures and then come find us afterwards. And thank you again all so much.
And thank you, Haley. Let's give it up for Haley.